right, we're into week 2 now of this vlog series. and I'm hoping it'll be a good one. I've got some ideas of the books that I want to read for the week, and I've heard rumor that Ryan and Katie have some good movies to pair with those. So let's see what happens. I have started Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison, and it's really good. I'm having a good time. We've already had our main character, Rory, who is kind of a mess. I mean, most of the characters Rachel Harrison writes are kind of a mess, but we love to hate them. But she feels very relatable for real. And she's got a twin sister that she's going to visit because she's pregnant and needs some help taking care of the baby and whatnot. And she's on her way there and hits an animal. But then the animal attacks her. I think we know what animal it is. And suddenly she feels a little different and things are acting a little bit weird for her. She's trying to piece together. Meanwhile, she also runs into a old friend from high school who's always been like half in love with her. So that's been really cute too. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes from here. And I love seeing the relationship between the two sisters as well. I am making some nachos for dinner, and so I am also listening to Such Sharp Teeth, and I am like 80%. So I haven't updated you because it's been really fast. It's been a real quick, easy read or listen, if you will. And yeah, I'm still having a really good time. I'm loving the sisters dynamic. I'm loving how messy they are. I'm loving this relationship she has on again, off again with this guy that she's known since high school. I have suspicions that she actually knows the werewolf that bit her, and I've got suspicions on who it is. So we'll see if I end up being right or not. But I'm going to finish making tacos and nachos for dinner, and we'll update you guys later. I finished Such Sharp Teeth, and it was so good. I'm giving it 5 stars. I really loved it. I loved the, little bit of romance we got in it. I love the sisters' relationship in it, and I'm probably going to give it no real ghosties, to be honest. Little bit of body horror, very little, so maybe 1 knife. But for the most part, it is a great read. Like I said, you really need to enjoy relationships, though. It's not like it's action-packed, but it got me laughing at times, and it got me rooting for the characters. So yeah, definitely 5 stars, and I can't wait to see the movie tonight. The movie tonight was Wolfman, and it's on Prime, and what to say? First of all, once again, they are just like spot on. They have matched everything so perfectly so far this year. It has been incredible. I don't know how much research had to be done for that, but incredible chef's kiss with the matchups. That being said, like I said, not every movie is going to be a winner. We all kind of gave it about 3 stars. We've definitely seen worse, and we've DNF'd worse. It was just really slow. So Ryan said that for him, it felt like things would take 10 minutes that could have taken 2 minutes. For me, I just didn't like the actress. I don't know if it was her acting ability I wasn't jiving with in this, or if it was more that the person she was portraying, like the character she was portraying, and I just didn't like that character, or if it's both, honestly. And Katie was kind of in the same boat with me and saying, yeah, it just wasn't a good mix for us. So it kept taking me out of the story, just the way she was acting and the character she was portraying. So yeah, it was kind of a sad more than scary story. And there was a couple of moments that were more gruesome than anything, but even for me being the big wuss I am, there wasn't really a whole lot of jump scares. So yeah, take it as you will, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. I think it's very fitting that I have a ghost behind me because I just finished Lights, which I believe is book 3 in the series, if I'm not mistaken. It's bittersweet. It's characters we've met in the first 2 and kind of navigating their friendship and their reality. and mixed with a little more info on the ghost that they're friends with, Wendell. Cat's in the background, sorry. And his story's kind of sad. So that was a little bit bittersweet and heartbreaking, but it was really good. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It was enjoyable. And I'm pretty sure we're pairing Casper with this one, so I'm betting it'll be an easy watch and I'll be able to sleep really well tonight. So it's nighttime and I'm at the library so I can read The Library at Hellbore. Bum, bum, bum. It's gonna be scary and it's gonna be dark and I think fitting. So right now the library's closed, so I'm sneaking around the parking lot and the parking garage. Shh, don't tell on me. So at 25%, it's weird. We've got a couple of POVs of the kids and they're at this school, and it's kind of strange because they have like the before and then they've got day 1, and the before seems almost like they're going through this school and there's some darker elements happening. It feels almost like a Walking Dead kind of situation mixed with The Faculty like movie, and it's just weird. It's just really, really weird. And I don't know, I'm actually a little confused as well, but I'm hoping it gets clear as we go. All right, it is way darker than it's looking on here. The light inside the parking garage goes off every time I move, so it's nice as a safety feature, but you would not believe how dark it actually is out here. I'm getting a little creeped out. But I am 74% into it. I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it. It is so weird and it's so gross. It's got like descriptions of some serious body horror and like cannibalistic tendencies, and there's a scene that makes me think Soylent Green, you know, kind of thing, and it just, I don't think this is gonna be for me, guys. There's some weird noise happening over there. I don't know if it's picking up or not, and it still looks so bright in this compared to what it looks out here. I swear it looks dark, dark, dark out here. So anyway, I finished it and I'm giving it a 2-star. It is not my favorite. I am not all about it. It was creepy, it was gory, it was weird, it was very confusing because we keep time jumping all the time to the before from different POVs to day 1 and day 2 of different POVs, and yeah, I'm just not a fan. I just was confused so much of the time and I just really didn't have a good time with this one, guys. So it'll be interesting to see what Ryan chooses to match up with this one. We finished watching The Woods, which pretty universal. We're all giving it 1-star rating. I would give it 1 ghosty for spooky. There's a couple of moments that are like a loud kind of jump scare, and then just a strange kind of setting for the whole movie. I'd give it 2 knives for blood just because there is a little bit of gore and you do see some blood in there. You can pretty much call what's going to happen. Like by halfway, you're pretty sure you know what's going on. I will say that one of the actors in it is from Bristol County. I think it's Bristol County Junior or something like that. And we knew him from that and from Evil Dead. This is my boomstick. So that was really what gave most of the star of the movie. Otherwise, we probably would have quit. But that being said, I would say it was paired perfectly with The Library at Hellborn. I will say that much. We do have a academic setting, and we do have some sus faculty going on, so I would say it's a pretty close comp. I think he did amazing picking a comparable, movie for the book I was reading. It's just a shame it sucked. So, but anyway, that's all for now. I am a little over 25% in Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. Again, I absolutely love the cover of this. I love that it's got really cool sprayed and stenciled edges. It's, I don't know, very slow to start. Basically, we've got these teenagers and they're making a movie together, and in this movie they have one of their friends portraying a thin boy, and he's like the scrawniest of them, so it makes sense. And basically he's like being tortured. He's like being held in this separate room and being tortured by these kids for some unknown reason. And so, yeah, it's just a little strange. And then we're also jumping to a time hop of current day where Hollywood's wanting to remake this movie. And so, yeah, he's been asked to sort of be there to facilitate it and to possibly even partly play the thin boy again, to kind of reprise that role. So yeah, but apparently something went really, really wrong, and so there's some footage that was never shown, and I'm interested to see what that's gonna be. So far it's okay. It's not the greatest, but it's not miserable, so yeah, we'll see. I am now 40% into Horror Story, and I realize I haven't talked to you guys yet about it. This is trippy, to say the least. I'm enjoying it. I am. I'm having a good time with it so far. I apologize. The cats are wrestling, is what they do. I swear nobody's dying. And it's strange because some of it is narrative, like a regular story, but some of it is told in like you're looking at a manuscript. So it's like, yeah, it's really different and strange. It definitely has some spooky elements into it as well, and there's some horrible things that happen to this guy. But I am liking it. I am having a good time. I think the biggest reason I am is because one of my friends, you know who you are, recommended that I do the audio with it so I can do an immersive read. That I think has made all the difference, because it's not quite sound effects, but the way that the narrators are doing it, and there's several narrators for like each voice, it really does put more in it, and it makes it better for me. So, because I think if I just had to read regular narrative, like a regular book, and then on top of that, the manuscript, I think I might have said no thank you, honestly. But like this, I like it with the audio. I like it. So if you've always wanted to give it a try, I would recommend doing immersive so you can see it on page and hear the voices as well as it's going. And to me, yeah, I'm still in it. I'm still interested in seeing where this goes. So I have finished it, and I'm gonna give it a 3-star. Part of it's not its fault. The audio is terrible. It starts off really great, like you have different voices for different people, and it's wonderful, and I love it. But literally, they have one guy who every time there's a manuscript on the page will just sniff and repeat the line again and again every single time. He must have done that 50 times, no exaggeration. And it just kept pulling me out of the story. It was just, my brain does not like that repetition like that. And yeah, it just kind of ruined it for me. And then the very end just didn't feel like a payoff like I wanted. For something that's called horror movie, I expected a little more horror, for it to be a little scary. It wasn't a bad ending. I just really wanted more from it. So I'm going to give it a 3-star. Not a lot of jump scares, honestly, so I'm leaning towards probably 1 ghosty. For blood, there's a little bit of gore, so I'd say 1 knife. And yeah, we'll see what movie I get paired with tonight. So we attempted to watch Antrim. We got about 30-ish minutes into it and decided to DNF it. The very beginning of the movie, and first of all, this is spot on. Feels like a perfect comp with horror movies. So once again, Ryan and Katie just blew it out of the park as far as matching. Unfortunately, the movie did not live up to it. The first part of the movie was really interesting. It's kind of like a documentary style. I think they call it a mockumentary. So kind of like Blair Witch not being real, but it feels like it could be. And so that part was spooky and was really good. But you start watching the movie and you guys, it gets so crazy ridiculous and weird, and not in a creepy weird way, but in like a amateur movie made way, and didn't really make much sense. And when it got to a part where it showed like they're literally in the middle of the woods, and what creature is in the wooded area around trees more than any other? A squirrel, right? So like, why the documenters couldn't find one single solitary live squirrel to film, I'll never understand. Because instead we got this right here. This is the squirrel that they showed us. So at that point, I'm like, now we're going into claymation, like back in the 80s when we had the Santa Claus claymation shows. And so I'm like, I'm out. I'm just out. And so was Ryan and Katie. So yeah, a DNF for the movie for sure. And hopefully the next pairing will be better. So I am about 25% into the reformatory, and I have a whiskey who's hanging out with me. It's about the only thing I can laugh about, because I knew this was going to be tough. I knew going into it was going to be tough. But at 25%, it's already like 150 pages or so. And it's already absolutely heartbreaking. Robbie is, with his sister, and they live with like an auntie who tries to help take care of them and stuff. But pretty much the older sister is taking care of him because mom's died and dad had to flee because he was accused of raping a white woman, which never happened. So he had to leave to kind of make sure his family didn't get punished and he didn't get, hanged and stuff. And it's just sad. So it's just him and his sister, and there's a boy in town that won't leave his sister alone. And he tries to get a little fresh with her. And so Robbie comes to her defense and ends up kicking him. That's literally all he did, was kick him. And of course, because Robbie's black and the boy is white, instead of the judge going, it's two kids and one kicked the other one and he kind of deserved it, the judge is saying, okay, you need to go to a reform school for boys. So he sends Robbie there, gives him a 6-month sentence. And so Robbie shows up, and it's not even the fact that everybody treats him like garbage, which they do. It's not even the fact that the other boys are also bullying him, which they are. It's also, he sees ghosts and things that show what happened here prior to him coming, and show him what might be his future if he's not very, very careful. And it's just heartbreaking. I'm now halfway in the reformatory, and I feel so bad for Blue. His family's trying so hard. They've hired a lawyer from the NAACP to try to plead their case, but the judge doesn't seem to want to help them out any. Shocking. And unfortunately, Robbie's just gone from bad to worse. Geez, halfway. Woo! Anyway, so the lots happened to Robbie. I don't want to obviously spoil anything. Suffice to say, he's found friends adjacent. I guess boys that he can kind of trust to the best of his ability while he's there. And the warden is horrible and thinks he's being kind to the boys. Ridiculous. And he's now asked Robbie, he's like, hey, I'll shorten your sentence here and go easy on your friends if you point out to me all the different ghost haunts that you see, because we have a way of getting rid of them, so they'll stop haunting the place. So it's a thing. And there's a character in here that I can't stand named Blue. I understand he's a young kid, but he's like ridiculous. He thinks it's funny to lock them in freezers. He thinks it's hilarious to be super loud and get them in trouble. And for some reason, one of the friends that Robbie's made that he really likes and cares about keeps saying, don't, I'll take the whips or whatever for Blue. Don't tell the warden Blue did anything wrong. Like, keep him off the warden's radar and all this other stuff. So he keeps standing up for him. So I'm wondering if they're like related or something, because he keeps standing up for him and this kid is just like trouble on legs. But anyway, so yeah, it's heavy, it's sad, and kind of hoping the reformatory, all the boys get free and burn the place down with the warden and other people inside. I know that's horrible, but I do. Yeah, I feel vengeful. I feel angry. I feel sad. I feel like I want some revenge, and I feel like the characters in this book that are being persecuted are of higher quality moral character than me, because I want revenge. I finished Reformatory. Chunkier. It was hard. It was heartbreaking. It was heavy. It was very hard to read. But it was really good. It was written very, very good. So I'm giving it, thanks, bud. I'm giving it 5 stars for sure. It would be a disservice to do anything less for it. That being said, it wasn't really scary. It was more horrifying what they do to these kids, but it wasn't really like jump scare scary. So even though there were ghosts in that they called haints, there were ghosts in it. I'm actually not going to give it any ghosties because it really wasn't scary, at least not to me. There is a lot of horrible things that happen to these kids. So while there's not excessive amounts of blood or even, gore like that, horrible things are happening to these kids. So I am going to give it 1 knife for that. But yeah, it was a very heavy read, but I'm really, really glad I read it and highly recommend it. Just make sure you're in the mood for it. And it'll be interesting to see what Ryan pairs this with. Getting ready for bedtime. I am tired. I will say the 31 and 31 does keep me up later than normal, and so I get really tired. But all that to say, we did finish Don't Let Go, and I thought it was pretty good. I'm giving it a 4-star. I do wish that it was a little more clear what exactly the end is. You kind of aren't completely clear. It's kind of left up to interpretation a little bit. And I hate when they do that because I am such a clear-cut girly. I like to know. I like to know what's what. But that being said, it was really, really good. It was well acted and it was fantastic. So I'm not mad at it. I'm glad we watched it. Ryan initially wanted to do, I think it was called Crimson Peak. I'll put something here so you can see it. And this is what he was initially going to do, but it gave a warning that popped up that I made him look into parental guidelines on it. And I'm glad I did, because there's something in there that happens apparently between a brother and a sister. And I'm like, nope, I'm sorry. That's a deal breaker for me. I'm out. So instead of watching that one, which he said would have been a more comp to the Reformatory as far as like the setting and stuff like that, we went with this one because I had it from the library checked out. I've been wanting to watch it. All of us have been wanting to watch it. And it kind of had to do a little bit with, I thought, like spirits and things like that. And not everybody's seeing the spirits. At least that's what it looked like from the trailers and stuff. And in a remote area, things like that. So I'm glad that we did watch it. It's not an exact comp by any means, but it gave the same kind of creepy vibes and the no that you wanted to. So we had a good time. So yeah, I highly recommend it. I finished Alice in Borderland Volume 8, and once again, incredible writing, incredibly dark and sinister artwork, and we have, at least in the beginning, we got our regular characters again, which is good, and a continuation a little bit more of the story, but then we go back into a whole lot of the side characters and how they began and games that they went through and things like that, and I'm just not into that, so I'm going to give it a 4-star. I still love the story overall, but I'm really just wanting to have the main storyline and wrap up with those characters. I don't want a whole lot of side character, where they came from and motivations, and even with the main characters having a whole lot of existential crises, I don't need that. I want the actual story. So I'm a little disappointed, I'm not going to lie. And obviously I'm going to watch another episode of Alice in Borderland to pair with this. I finished Solo Leveling Volume 10, and once again, the stakes are being raised. So once again, our main character is getting harder and harder dungeons that he has to go through, harder and harder enemies. He's also dealing with the fact that he's been leveling up so much and getting all this power. There's a cost, and there is something coming. So I don't want to give anything away. I don't do spoilers, but something that's putting his family at risk and putting him at risk, and he's having to kind of deal with that. So it was interesting. It was good. Once again, I don't know, maybe I'm just in a place where I want a lot more action. Maybe that's the problem, because I found myself getting a little bored at times in this, and I think it's a me thing. I think I'm just, for some reason I'm wanting things to go rapidly and quickly and not draw out. But it was good again. And again, the art style is incredible. It's a fun series. And so I'm going to give it 4 stars. And once again, going to watch an episode of Solo Leveling to pair with it. Okay, so not too bad. There were a few in there that were okay, both book and movie wise. The pairings, again, spot on. But I gotta admit, guys, it's kind of like last year. I don't know what's happening. Am I just picking like really bad horror books or what? But let me know down below if there's really good ones that you would recommend that I try, because I'm going to say the spook meter didn't move at all. I'm going to say it's the exact same as last week, you guys, because I'm not any extra scary. I'm really, really not. And kind of bummed about that. So yeah, we'll see. But thanks for being here. Please like, subscribe, send your friends, and I will see you guys next time.